In the 15th century, the shogun of Japan known as Ashikaga Yoshimasa decided to choose his younger brother as his successor, because he didn't have a son. However, his wife got pregnant and they finally had a son. This changed everything as the son of the shogun, named Ashikaga Yoshihisa, became the successor instead of his uncle. This later turned into a conflict between the uncle and the nephew. Their fans and allies began fighting each other to decide which one should become the new shogun. Eventually, Ashikaga Yoshihisa won, and he became the new shogun. However, those wars had weakened the shogun power and made some of the rulers of the provinces gaining more power than the shogun, as Japan turned into a divided country. This period in Japanese history is known as the Sengoku Jidai, when the Japanese warlords, known as the daimyo, began to fight each other in civil wars to decide who shall become the new master of Japan. This era in history of Japan is known for having many legendary warriors. For example, Miyamoto Musashi, Hattori Hanzo, Sanada Yukimura, etc. And also known for having great rivalries. For example, the rivalry between Takeda Shingen and Uesugi Kenshin, as they fought each other in a series of wars known as the Battles of Kawanakajima. Meanwhile, the head of Oda clan, named Oda Nobunaga, decided to march to Kyoto, which was the capital of Japan in that time. On his path, he defeated Imagawa Yoshimoto and teamed up with Tokugawa Ieyasu. With their alliance, the Oda and the Tokugawa managed to defeat most of their enemies, as they took down the Azai and the Asakura clans together. Nobunaga also faced the Takeda and the Uesugi clans. He fought Shingen's son, Takeda Katsuyori, which was not as capable as his father, as he faced a great defeat against Nobunaga in the Battle of Nagashino, when the gun-powered army of the Oda destroyed the Takeda cavalry. A few years later, Katsuyori was killed by the Oda and the Takeda clan was destroyed.
貴様の拳などかほどにも効かんわい。お前はもう死んでいる。何？もうあたくびできれぶ。
After achieving many victories in his life, Nobunaga was so close to unite all of Japan. However, one night in the Honnoji temple he was betrayed by one of his retainers, named Akechi Mitsuhide. Nobunaga and all his guards and servants lost their lives in that incident.
The enemy is at Honnoji!
After the Honnoji incident, one of the other retainers of Nobunaga, named Toyotomi Hideyoshi, swore to avenge his lord's death. And he actually did it. He fought and killed Akechi Mitsuhide in the Battle of Yamazaki. After killing Mitsuhide, Hideyoshi claimed himself worthy to become Nobunaga's successor. He continued to expand Nobunaga's territory to unite all of Japan. He made an alliance with Ieyasu and fought many clans to make them serve him. For example, the Shimazu. Hideyoshi also destroyed the Hojo clan, as he famously sieged their castle, Odawara. After achieving all these glories, Hideyoshi finally succeeded to unite all of Japan, which means the civil wars were over. Hideyoshi realized there were no one left to beat, so he started beating Korea, but his invasion failed. So, he decided to invade Korea for a second time, and failed again. Eventually Hideyoshi passed away. Although Hideyoshi managed to unite all of Japan, it didn't mean that it was the end of Sengoku Jidai. Only 2 years after Hideyoshi's death, the greatest war of Sengoku period happened between his retainers, the Battle of Sekigahara. Hideyoshi told his retainers to take care of his 5-year-old boy, Toyotomi Hideyori, until he grows up to become his successor. However, his retainers disagreed because Hideyori was a kid. So, one of them decided to become the new master of Japan. And that one guy was Tokugawa Ieyasu. However, one of Hideyoshi's most trusted men named Ishida Mitsunari stand against Ieyasu. Therefore, their conflict turned into a great war, which was the Battle of Sekigahara. Ieyasu won, and he became the shogun, only for 2 years. He retired himself after 2 years and made his son his successor. However, still this was not the end of Sengoku Jidai. Remember that 5-year-old boy of Hideyoshi? Well, after a few years he growed up and stand against Ieyasu. Which means the Tokugawa had to face one last foe to finally put an end to the Sengoku period. Ieyasu fought Hideyori when he sieged his castle, Osaka, in 1615. Ieyasu defeated Hideyori and destroyed the Toyotomi clan. Which means the Tokugawa finally took down all of the enemies of their shogunate. And that's the end of Sengoku Jidai with the Tokugawa shogunate, as they became shogun for 265 years. Now, imagine how different things would have been if Ashikaga Yoshimasa did not have a son.
Oh boy, I can't wait to become the next shogun. What are these noises coming out of my brother's bedroom? No matter, as I was saying, I'll become the next shogun. Nothing will take this away from me.